Hey everybody, it's Pam with Silver and Sparkles. And I'm finally back making a video. I'm so excited to be in my craft room. It seems like it has been days, and it has been, but it just seems much longer than even the few days it's been. So let me show you what we're going to make today, and then while we're crafting, I'll give you an update on everything that's been going on, okay? So I am really excited today to be making, I'm calling this a 2-page project. We've made a few 2-pagers using 8.5 by 11 paper, and this is a beautiful some beautiful papers and ephemera from Cherith Arts on Etsy. She's definitely one of my new favorites, and I'm gonna tell you all about the papers that I used, and then how we're gonna make this fun project. So again, you can use any paper you like. You will need at least 2 pieces of 8.5 by 11, and then you may need, like, some of these are from the ephemera kit, different pieces to tack in, but you can definitely make the folio and the pockets and the flip with 2 pieces, which is fun. So the 2 kits that I'm using of Cherith's aren't these gorgeous? Some of them I printed on the back because I'm going to make the folio out of them, but this one with all the different journaling pages, look at these. Fun. This one I cut a piece. They are, let's see, this one is vintage inspired rose and heart journal pages. And they're all 8.5 by 11. There's lots of birds, flowers, hearts, some blues, the neutrals, pinks, just gorgeous. So if you like that kind of paper, this is a little sampling of what it looks like. Butterflies, you know, the pretties, all the pretties, the things that I like. These are definitely my vibe and my colors. So those are the ones that I picked to make the folio with. And then I'm also using the Valentine's Vintage Romance Ephemera packet. And this one has a bunch of different journaling cards, tags, a whole bunch of tabs, which are exciting, I think. Some different strips, some different shaped tags, pages of circles of different sizes and shapes. The whale tags, I used my whale tag punch to punch them out, but they're just a page that has tags this shape and then some of the whale tags. And then this lovely page of the little hearts. I don't have a circle punch that's the exact right size for all of these hearts. So I took my little, like, 3/4 inch punch and punched a bunch of little ones out. It kind of wasted, I guess, some of the images and sizes, but I really wanted to use for my little dangle here a tiny circle anyway, so it actually worked out really well for me. So some of the cards and things have some different words on there, so lots to choose from. Let's see, this is a flip up that I thought would make a nice place. You could just leave this as a journaling spot, and when you take the things I stuck in this pocket out, you have journaling space here. You don't really need a closure or anything, but I did put a circle here just to tuck it in, since it is such a tall flap, to help it. And then I made one of these curvy pockets. Anyway, just I'm having so much fun playing with it. I've made a couple other things, but I haven't done videos yet. I've made this fun envelope, and I think this would make just a delightful Valentine. Isn't that pretty? And then I also made, whoa, this pocket. It's just a really tall pocket with a tab on it. And these are pieces that I do plan to make a full Valentine's themed journal. And then these are all going to be great things to include in there. So more videos to come, I'm sure, using these papers, because I have lots of Valentine's ideas and things. Just now that we're in winter and January, it's just fun to start making. So let's get started. And again, feel free to use any paper you have. You don't even need to make yours Valentine themed, right? Make it any way you want. This would be a great just standalone Valentine, I think, for someone as well. All right, let me try to move my papers out of the way. So to get started, you are going to need, like I said, 2 pieces of 8.5 by 11. If you only have scrapbook paper, you can just cut your paper to that size, so you can craft with this as well. if you don't have digitals. I did go ahead and print a neutral on the back so that I wouldn't have to do as much layering, but again, that's up to you. Now on the other 8.5 by 11, we're going to be cutting it into some strips and then cutting it some more. So I'll give you all the measurements, all the scoring, and everything in the description of the video. So don't worry about that. To get us started, let's score the base, our folio. And this is going to be the folio. So it's 8.5 by 11. So we're scoring on the 11-inch side. And I want you to score your paper at 3 5/8 and 7 3/8. So 3 5/8, you just go, for me, I go to the 3.5, and then it's the next little bitty line is 3 5/8. If you count the lines, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5/8. I know sometimes that's a struggle. And then we have 7, and then 1, 2, 3, and 3/8. Now I'm also going to show you a trick if you want to do it this way. When I was designing this folio and I wanted to make sure my measurements were absolutely right, this is how I did it. So I scored at the 3 5/8, and then I just spun my paper like this. And then you score again at 3 5/8. Whoops. And it's, you know, it's exactly the same. Doing the 3 5/8 on each side is the same as doing 3 5/8 and 7 3/8. I hope that didn't confuse you guys, but sometimes people like to be able to figure out one mark and then do both sides, because this is a trifold, right? It's a trifold. So we'll decide the prototype, and I based it on the design of my paper. I had opened this way, so this has a pretty, looks like vines, flowers, hearts, right? And inside there's a beautiful heart. If you want, though, you could make yours open this way. So just look at your paper and decide which way you want it to open. I think either would work. And in fact, this one, maybe we'll do that so that you can see both directions. We'll have one that opens this way with this flap first, and then we can do this one this way. Okie dokie. All right, so there's the base of your folder. Now, I did go ahead and round the corners of mine because I liked that look. I used this little teeny weeny one, which is, you know, 4 millimeters. You could do a 1/4 inch. You can do a big corner round, like a 1/2 inch, whatever look you like if you want to, or skip it all together. All right, fun. And if you're going to ink, now's a good time to ink. I'm going to get my walnut stain back out. On this one, I did use, which one did I use? I used this one, the Vintage Photo. I've been using it a lot lately, but I think I'm going to get out my walnut stain, my tried and true favorite. So I haven't been in the craft room much. So while I'm inking this really quick, I'll give you guys a little bit of an update. So thank you everybody who left comments and said you were thinking about my dear husband. He had to have some surgery actually on Monday. Today it's getting a little late in the day on Thursday. Not too late, I guess early afternoon. To me, that's late in the day because I always start my day really early. So he did get to come home, and he's doing well. And, you know, with any major surgery, there's a pretty significant recovery time. He's got a lot of restrictions for the next month. So things will be a little different around our house as we help him recover, and we'll go to all the follow-up appointments and all those things. So anyway, a little bit of a road ahead of us, but we are just very, very grateful, and I appreciate all of the thoughts and the prayers. So thank you guys. And in the middle of all of that, of course, I live in Virginia in the Richmond area. I don't live in the city, but we've been impacted. If anybody saw on, you know, the national news here in the States, the Richmond water plant here in Virginia had a catastrophic failure of systems, just one thing after another. When we had the snowstorm that started it, there was a loss of power, and then all this other stuff happened, which led to many people in the area, definitely in the city of Richmond, but also out in the counties. There's different counties that surround the city. We've been affected as well, but just without any running water. And for days since Monday. And we're on a boil water order, so we have to boil all of our water and to brush your teeth. Just today, the Virginia Department of Health said it's okay to shower or wash our hands with it. But anyway, we've been trying to conserve water, but trying to make sure everybody stays hydrated. My husband has the fluids he needs. And it's just been a little bit different coming home, and you know, you're so used to just turning the water on and it being safe. So all of that's happening. So exciting times. All right, that's the update. Let's talk about crafts. It's much more interesting, but thank you guys. Thank you guys so much. All right, let's set aside our folio for a minute because we're gonna have fun decorating it. But then we're gonna get out our next 8.5 by 11 inch piece of paper, and we're gonna cut it into some strips. And sometimes it's hard with these patterns to decide. I'm going to give you the measurements, like I said, in the description. You don't have to cut your paper in the order I'm going to say, and I'll explain that in a second. I kind of decided which order to cut mine in based on the image on the paper. So you're going to cut your paper ultimately, so you end up with 4 strips. One will measure 3 1/4 inches by 8.5. One will measure 2.5 inches. In fact, I don't even think I have mine in the order. That's the 3 1/4. This is the, nope, that is 2.5. Okay, 3 1/4, 2.5, 3 and 3.5. And then you end up with 1 3/4 left. All right, so let me say that again. 3 1/4 inches by 8.5. 2.5 inches by 8.5, 3.5 inches by 8.5, and then 1 3/4 by 8.5. Now, what I want you to understand though is if your image was different, you could, if you want to, you could cut them in any order. You could do the 3.5 inch cut first, and then you could cut a 2.5, then you could do 3 1/4. And 1 3/4. It really just depends on your paper, so look at it and decide how you want to cut it. And then I'm also going to show you what you're going to use each of these for, and that might also help you decide. So the 3 1/4 inch strip, this is the piece that we are going to use to make some stacked pockets. So on this side, I did a stacked pocket. So there's 1, 2, stacked pocket. And we need a pocket at the bottom of this center panel. Now, for mine, and that's what this is for, and it works for all of those. For mine, I did choose to use one of the journaling cards, and I just turned it on its side and I cut it to 2 inches and used it in the center panel. And it actually fit perfectly. You could take off a little sliver. So, you know, if you're using other papers or you want to use your scraps and you want to, you know, kind of change everything up, go for it. If not, you can do all of these pockets in the flip, you know, just with that same piece of paper. All right, again, hope I didn't confuse you. So the 3 1/4 inch piece here, we are going to cut this one on the 8.5 inch side. I want 3 pieces that are going to be pockets that are 2 inches wide. So this is going to be one pocket. I like that with the flowers. And I'm going to do another one on this end. So that'll be another 2 inch piece. And then I'm going to just turn mine, and I'm going to get this piece at 2 inches. because I liked that rose. And then this is just a leftover piece you can turn into a piece of ephemera, a journaling card, layer, so make a tab out of, whatever. So we're gonna set that aside for now. Now, the piece that measures 3.5 by 8.5, this is gonna become your flip. And I chose to fold mine based on the image of the paper, and I'm going to do the same thing here, and I'll give you the measurement, but depending on where you fold it will depend on how long your flip is. I'm going to just fold it down because I wanted the majority of that heart to be shown with that sweet little bird. So I really did base everything on making sure I had this bird for this center panel for my journaling spot. Right. So we're going to start rounding corners, stacking pockets, doing all of that in just a moment, and inking. But let's take this piece here, which is your 2.5. Yes, 2.5 by 8.5 inch piece. And that's the one I used to make the organic pocket. And actually I'm telling a little bit of a fib here because I didn't cut my paper correctly when I was making the prototype. So I ended up using 3 sheets, but you don't need 3 sheets. So I fixed it with the measurements I'm giving you. Mine is a little bit wider on the prototype because of the image I wanted to save of the bird, but ours is going to be made from the 2.5 inch section. You can leave it straight and just make it a side tuck pocket. You can do what I'm about to do and just organically start cutting. I'm cutting mine loosely based on these flowers. I'm getting a curve in there. And if you don't like it, you can work on it some more. I like mine. I may bring this piece in just a little bit closer to the heart. There we go. All right, and that's going to be my little organic pocket. Leave it straight. If you're not comfortable freehanding, it'll look great. Don't worry. Where did I put my corner rounder? That is a great question. You guys probably see it here on my desk. I don't know where I set it. Guys, that's crazy. All right, I'll just grab my other one. And, oh wait, I put it away. Look at that. Here it is. I had put it away. Okay, so I am going to do the 2 corners that are gonna layer right here. Oh, and I forgot, you need to take just a sliver. And when I mean a sliver, like 1/8 of an inch, just so that this lovely little pocket you're making can nestle right in there on that page like that. There you go. And I'm gonna do some inking. This one, I folded the flap, forgot to give you guys that measurement. Let's call it 1.5 inches. It could be, the flap could be a little bigger. It could be a little more narrow, but you definitely want it short enough that it can kind of tuck in there, because we're going to make a little tuck for it on the pocket that goes on that panel. Okay, so I'm getting all of my corners rounded the way that I want. There we go. See how cute that's gonna look. It's gonna flip up. I use different papers to do the backing. I definitely think I like this one better, but that's okay. Okay, now let me decide on my pockets here. Again, we're gonna have a stacked pocket, something like this. And I'm gonna show you how to do that in just a minute. And then this one is gonna be here. And the flip is we're gonna add one of the circles so that this flip can tuck in there. So I think I might even use this one. Okay, Just whatever you think looks good, you decide, and everything will be just fine. Okay, so let's go ahead and ink, and then we'll start installing our pockets. And again, this is a very quick and easy folio. I'm doing a lot of talking and hopefully giving you guys a few options to consider. But when you're ready to make yours, they actually, you know, it's not a difficult construction. Let's see, I am going to show you how I did the little tab and the little dangle, because I made those little pieces, except for the key that I hung on there, just from the papers. And I think they turned out really cute. I'm gonna go ahead and put a little ink there, so when you flip it up, you see it. And you can ink as much or as little as you want. You don't have to. I kind of like that vintagey look, though. Now, this pocket, I am not going to put a notch in. Whoops. But I am going to round the corners. And then we'll get the circle and get this one set up as well. Okay. It's just a little ink on this one. The stacked pocket, it's fine. The stacked pocket we're going to do this way. So first, let's round all the corners. Again, skip the rounding if you don't want to do it. And I need to vacuum too. That's another thing. I've been doing a lot of laundry. Well, I've been really trying to conserve, because I was telling you guys about the water, but they did say if you get it on the sanitized setting that you could do laundry. And so I've been folding clothes, doing a few loads of laundry. I had my first shower today, I don't know, since Tuesday. Woo! And they didn't do the water thing here until Tuesday, and I'd already taken a shower. I'm looking for a circle punch, everybody. Let's use this one just happens to be a 1 1/4. Use whatever size you want. I'm going to hold my two pockets together so that the circle is at the notch I'm going to put in here is the same. And I'm just trying to get it somewhat centered. If you want it to be very precise, make sure you just mark the center first. So I've been doing folding clothes. I think I've done 2 loads of laundry. And again, some people haven't had any water. Our water pressure was really low, but today it's back. I don't know if it's exactly back, but it's definitely enough where I could do a little laundry and get a quick shower. And help my husband get him all cleaned up. So all of that's really good. And again, I have boiled and boiled and boiled the water because we never completely lost it, which was nice. We had plenty of water to brush our teeth, wash our hands, all those things. We were very fortunate because not everybody was in that situation, and many people are still without water. So think about those of us here in Central Virginia, if you have a moment. All right, let's do the stacked pocket first. So the way I like to do this is I put, let's call that not quite a 1/2 inch of glue. And then I'm just going to lay the bottom pocket right there with it. Do my best to get everything straight. Whoops. Yikes. So this is where if I was using my art glitter glue, this wouldn't be happening, because as soon as you stick it down like that, it's not going to wiggle on you. I'm using today PVA glue by Line Co. And I like it, and it's now pretty much my everyday glue. I still use our glitter glue. It's right here too. Love it, love it. But it does give you some wiggle room, the PVA glue, if you need it. But sometimes you don't want it to wiggle, and it wiggles on you. So you got to decide. All right, now we're going to install this pocket. We have a choice. we can just add the glue to these 3 sides, leaving this top open. If we choose that, let me show you what will happen. Let's say it's glued down. We'll be able to put something very tall in this first pocket because it'll go all the way to the bottom. And then this pocket will just be that a little less than 2 inches depth. If you want this one to only go in that far, like let's say we're gonna put one of these cards in there. If we leave it with just the glue at the bottom, that card will sink all the way to there. If I choose to put a line of glue here as well, or if I had chosen to put a line of glue there as well, it would stop here. So I think I want to do that for this one. So I should have done it before, but I didn't. So now I'm just going to run a bead of glue right under here and close that one up. I could have put the glue right along here and that would work too. Let me show you. So we're going to glue the bottom, both sides. So it's 1, 2, 3. And then you can also just run a bead of glue right there. And then when we go to stick this in, it will not go all the way through. You know what I did? I accidentally, guys, forgive me. I have messed this up. Do not, I hope you haven't done yours yet. Do it the way I just showed you. The glue on the 3 sides and right along there. Do not slide it up under there. Sliding it up under there glues this pocket closed, and it's too late to save it. And it's okay, but it'll show you the mistake. See what happened? Maybe I did save it. Okay, do not do what I just did and slide your glue under there. Big mistake. Stop. Put your glue instead right along here, and then these 3 sides, and all will be well. I'm going to go ahead and use this. I think it'll be fine. But if I had not been able to loosen it up, I would have just cut more paper, and it really would have been okay. I hadn't glued it down yet. But look, it works, and it looks okay. Now this one stops. The things that are short don't go all the way to the bottom, and I kind of like that. On this one, I have a long journaling card in here because I didn't do that, and it would just slide right on in. I like both. It depends on what you want to use the pocket for and what you're thinking. I really want my dangle to dangle correctly, and it's acting up. Let me see if I can get it to pull through. There we go. The eyelet I chose, there we go. That's where I want it. It's a little tiny eyelet, but it's okay. All right, I hope I did not mess anybody's pocket up. I hope I didn't. All right, before we install the flap, we are going to install this pocket. And I'm just going to line it up at the bottom with this one. I'm not putting a notch in this one. You can if you want to. 3 sides. Hold it by the side you want to leave open. There we go. Very pretty. And now we are going to glue the flap down. All we need to do is add glue to this back flap. So, and then decide where you want, how you want to position it on your folio. And I'm going to bring mine, I don't know, leave approximately the same border at the top as I have on the sides, which is probably close to 1/8 of an inch. There we go. Now it opens up. Let's grab one of the circles from the Ephemera kit to use this one. There, that's cute. It's got some of the blue in it, and it's already inked. So there you go. Now, it depends on if I want to cover up the petals and the flower like that, and I can, and it still looks cute. But I think I'm going to bring mine over just a touch. It'll still provide a good tuck for my flip, and I get to have a little more of the image showing. So get your heart or your heart. Get your circle the way you want it. I want the heart. I don't want the hearts to be cattywampus or sideways or anything. So I'm going to add glue to about 1/3 of the circle and leave the rest without glue. And I'm going to position it here on the pocket like so. We're going to let that dry, and then this is going to get to tuck in there, but I'm going to let it dry first. Now let's install our wavy pocket we made. Again, hold it by the side you want to leave open, and I'm going to add glue to 3 sides. Whoa, that was not a very straight line. Just took up some of my real estate in my little side pocket, but that's okay. The more careful you are, the more depth you would get to have in your pocket. And don't worry about those measurements. Again, I will have them in the description for you. All right. So sweet. I love the bird and the butterflies with all the flowers and hearts. And I do like this one too because it stays pretty skinny. And if you didn't put the dangle, it would definitely stay very skinny. All right. Now, I had said to this one, I'm going to have open this orientation. So I do want to do another tab. Now, you can decorate these, the front, this panel as well. You could add pockets. You can do whatever. I'm leaving mine. Again, just a personal choice, kind of keeping them skinny. But feel free to keep adding tuck spots, all of that. You still have this piece of paper. You still have this piece that you could make a belly band. You could do all kinds of things. You still have plenty of papers if you would like to do that. Now I'm going to pick a tab that I already have cut out from the kit. I have several are punched out. There's one, there's one. And then I also liked having a few words, and I've got some handwritten quotes. There's a cute tag that we may use to decorate with as well. I like that one. Okay. Sometimes it's so hard to choose. See all the whale tabs that were in there too? Very cute kit. Yay, Cherith, I love it. Okay, which one do I like? There's that one with some hearts. There's some hearts this way. This one is a little more plain, but if we pick up one that's a little more plain, we could also, you know, do something like this, or get one of the, we could go ahead and punch ourselves another tiny, whoops, there's one with a pretty rose. Again, I don't have the punch. It's like a little bit, let's see, I think it's a little less than 1 inch. So again, my 1 inch punch leaves, you know, a white border around, and I just didn't want that, and I didn't want to hand cut them. So for right now, this is what I'm doing. So we'll use those two for our dangle. Let me see. Let's pick one. This one that actually punched out the word love, and we will put it here just to decorate the tab just a little bit. Okay, so a little bit of ink, and again, if you don't have this particular paper kit or you want some tabs, you can take a rectangle and fold it in half, and then just, if you want to try to make the shape, you can just angle it. You can just round the corners. It will still look great. So if you want a tab, you don't have to have a tab, obviously. All right, I'm going to bring it into about right there. And I've shown you guys this in lots of other videos, but in case you're new to my channel, I just put a little bit of glue. I hold it with my finger so it's not wiggling on that side of the tab. Make sure I have it where I want it. And then when I open it up, I add the glue to that full panel there. And it's covering up that heart a little bit. That's okay. If you don't want that, if you don't want it to interfere with this pocket, I could have glued the tab on first and then put the pocket over top. Totally whatever you like, whatever look you like. Maybe I will add this circle so we just have a bunch of layers going on this pocket. Won't that be cute? Let's do that. This side, just because we can and it's fun, but not necessary. And then on this side, I think before I was going to say I'm going to put this one, but I think before I do, just to make sure, let's do the dangle and make sure we like how the dangle's looking. So the first thing I did was I took 2 of these little circles and I glued them together because I don't want the back to be just plain white. Oops, there's another circle. Maybe, you know what, maybe I'll use this one, that way I'll have 1 flower and 1 heart instead of 2 flowers. So let me get that one inked. Doesn't really matter, just get whatever you like. And I'm just gluing them together like so. And guys, if you are new to my channel, I always share that if you want to see any of the supplies that I use, if you're new or you need some supplies, I do have an Amazon storefront and you can check out some of my favorites. They're listed there, and Amazon does pay me a few pennies. If you decide to make a purchase, it's at no cost to you, but do not feel obligated at all. That's totally, up to you. Okie dokie. It's just to help me and to help you. So to give you some ideas of some things that I like to use. I'm going to make this is just from one of the journaling cards. I want to see those hearts, and I'm folding it over, but I don't want it quite this wide or this tall. So we're going to trim it down. That cute. And how about we make it this tall? There we go. And then when I glue it together, I don't know, it's a little tall. Maybe we'll take 1 more heart off to add to our dangle. Very cute. Now I have those to do something with, those hearts. And then the other one that I did was just an offcut of a piece of paper, but this one will work because it's a different pattern. So I'm just going to fold this one in half this way. This strip from that card we were just working with. And when I glue it together, if I need to do some more trimming, I will. But now I'll have a stripe and a heart and a circle, and we'll do a little key on it. It's going to be cute. All right, so let me get these glued together. So I'm just making little tiny pieces from some of the papers. And this is from the papers in the Ephemera kit. But again, use your scraps. Look and see what you have. Cut something out of a book or a magazine. If you have a book that you're cutting up, you can really get creative on making little pieces of ephemera to go with your projects. And this is what I always end up spending the majority of my time on, but I love it. So it's fun. You know what? I'm not going to round the corners. You can if you want to. I'm going to just leave these as little tags that are going to hang off. Get the hearts turned the right way before I punch the holes. And then we'll put this together. That one I've already inked. So I did pull out my paper piercer. I use this a lot of times. You guys know when I'm punching the holes for the signatures, when I'm making a big journal or sewing a signature into a mini journal. But it's perfect for going ahead and getting these pre-poked, pre-pierced before we put them on a bulb pen. Which makes it easier. You can obviously poke it with the pen itself, but I find that to be a little challenging. So to pick one of the keys out. And again, if you want to see some of these little bits and pieces that I'm using, pop on over to Amazon. Not everything I use I get on Amazon, but a lot of the supplies I do. So just for you to have something to look at. Look how sweet. I will also link, I'm going to close that up for right now, Cherith's paper kits on Etsy for you in the description if you want to take a look at these pretty papers. All right, I am going to set an eyelet. I'm going to use my crocodile. That's still not working right. And again, I'm just going to poke a hole here, kind of at the bottom of the tab. And then set an eyelet. I'm using my silent setter because my crocodile is just acting up and I just don't know. And I've had these eyelets forever. They came with this and they're not usually in a color palette that I would normally pick, but I did think that kind of tan one looked kind of cute. So we're using it. I don't even know if they still make these anymore. I've had this one forever. I did look for somebody a few months back, and there were a few eBay sellers that still have them at reasonable prices. I think if you try to get something like this on Amazon, it was something just crazy, like $300. Like, don't pay $300 for an eyelet setter. There's lots of choices, and crocodiles are fabulous. Mine's just acting up, and I am using what I have, so that's what that's about. But if you want to look, I would say look on eBay if you want one like that. All right, so now we're just going to put our dangle through the eyelet. Look how sweet. And then decide, do I want to? And I think I do. Put that little circle there. Now, I also have, I think I told you guys, I had already written out some love Valentine kind of quotes. This one, the quote that I put in here, I thought would be good for anybody, but definitely a friend. It says, "May your day be filled with glitter someone else cleans up." And of course, there's plenty of space in here for you to write your own messages or poems or other love things you want to say in the folio. This one depends on what words we choose. We'll decide, is it better for, a family member, a partner, a friend. So like, I love this one. It says, it's an F. Scott Fitzgerald. "They slipped briskly into an intimacy from which they never recovered." And I would imagine that was for someone that's more like a partner, a lover, but intimacy can be friendship as well. So you decide. I'm going to use this one and decide if I want it on the outside, if I want it again on the inside. I could put it here. Like I actually made a little card and glued it to the flap. I think on this one I'm just going to leave for journaling space because I liked how this looks right there on that page. So I'm going to put that there. Again, this is not necessary. It's just something that I'm doing for mine. And again, it could be a really nice Valentine instead of a card for someone. Now, if you have the kit or are going to get the kit, there are so many options. I haven't inked or decorated these anymore. I'm going to worry about doing that later, not on camera, but I am going to just tuck some in for you so you can kind of see or start to see what it'll look like. I want to see that part of the color up there. We could add some more words. It says, "My whole heart loves you." Maybe I'll put that right here on this pocket. I was just thinking, how cute would that be right here on this little tab too? I don't know. Maybe we want to put it on the dangle. What do you guys think? I wish somebody could say, "Oh, this is what I think, Pam." All right. I like it on the dangle, but I also like it on the pocket. Let's put it on the dangle. Let's just do it. It's different, and I decorate pockets all the time. So we're just going to add it on there. So if you want to do that, you know, you could just put love, or you could put be my Valentine, or thinking of you, or happy birthday, depending on what you're using yours for. Look how cute. And then that's a little surprise. I like it. Okay. All right, back to this. Tuck our flap in. And again, you can, there's plenty of pieces. I could fold this one. Just make it like a little journaling, a journaling card. Lots of different sizes and shapes to choose from. That'll probably get folded up if I try to turn it the other way. Oh, I'm really happy with how it turned out. Now, if you want to keep going, and this is making me a little crazy, you can put a ribbon around it, you know, as a closure. That would look pretty. I don't even know if this, are any of these ribbons even long enough? I have just little, I don't know why I have these ribbons sitting here. Like I said, I feel like I've been out of my craft room for so long. I can't even remember what I was working on. It all starts to run together. Maybe just, I don't think there's enough with this one for a full bow, but I could do something like that for the prototype. Again, this is kind of a bright pink, but it's cute. I think some of my neutral sari silk, let me see if I can grab it, would be pretty with these colors. Isn't that pretty? Let me cut this off. I'm gonna put a piece of this around here and tie a little bow just to finish them off and see what we think. All right. Very, very cute. And these are going to be great, again, as standalone Valentines or tucked into a larger, you know, journal. So there you go. I hope you guys liked it. Please leave me a comment. Give me a thumbs up. If you have time, go back and watch some of my older videos. I hate to ask y'all that, but when it's hard to get content up, YouTube stops showing your stuff to people, and it's just sad. It's just sad. So if you have time, I appreciate it, and thank you guys for coming back and spending some time with me. And I'll be back soon. Have a good one, everybody. Thanks.